Yeah, we are live. We are live. We are live. Come on, Coach Bryant.
I'm coming. Some of us, work for a living.
So you trying to say I don't work for a
I
living?
didn't say that. What up, peoples?
What's up, people? Hey, how you doing? So welcome to Hits and Heels. Is Wednesday night. We have a guest. She tried coming on, but we was having some technical difficulties. So hopefully we'll get her on. But prior to that, here's our bio right here, so you can see. We're still going on to our Women in History Month for the month of March. No, Coach Bryant, what do you got going on?
Well, I mean, first of all, I know it's the Women Month of March, which is great. Well, every day, if you will, but we got to give props. Got to give props to the little males. University of Kentucky basketball team won, beat LSU today. They play tomorrow. They play Missouri. The Missouri State. It's called the what?
The Show Me State.
Show me. Let's show them, cats. Let's show them. So very proud of that, getting that first win. I did not know this real fast. When Rick Pitino coached here, 2 times they couldn't go to the tournament because of probation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that they only have 1 loss?
During that time when they weren't
when they weren't on probation, they were
when they were on probation or they weren't?
No, when they was not on probation and got the go, they were 17-1.
What do you mean 17-1?
They won 17 games and lost 1 in the SEC tournament.
Oh, in the SEC.
Because 2 of them, 2 times they didn't go.
They didn't go to the SEC tournament.
Yes, tournament. SEC tournament.
Okay.
I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Pretty impressive.
Somebody else said that, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But anyway, we'll give props for that, and we got a whole lot of. How about Frederick Douglass ladies switching back over? They won today. Got a win this morning, and I want to congratulate Coach and that represents the city.
They represent the city.
That represents the city. So,
mm-hmm. And I just want to shout out Big Things Kentucky and Lavelle Martin, who do a great job of covering our local.
What? Lavelle shot this.
Okay. And because they do a great job of covering our local sports, that's why we don't do a lot of local sports on our show.
Yeah, but we want to mention it.
We do.
We want people to know that we keep up to our local.
That's their lane.
No, I'm gonna keep up with the local.
Okay, Coach Brian.
I'm local.
Okay. So what else you got going on? So how's baseball going?
Well, I mean, baseball is the weather, and we should get more rain and snow because the season is about to start. I don't know how many times it's always cold the first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Our first game is next week on Wednesday. We play at George Rogers Clark with the former great Coach Brooks, his George Rogers Clark Cardinals. Because he was a former head coach at Bryant Station High School. So we get to go down there and play on a little turf field.
A little turf field? Okay, so tell me what the difference between being on a turf field and not being yes, Ozone do as well, but Ozone is part of Big Things Kentucky, Mr. Brown. So when I said Big Things Kentucky, Ozone Mitchell was included in that.
Yeah, he's the man as well, and so is Kerry, so yeah. How you doing, Mr. Brown? Now what'd you ask me? Oh no, you asked me something. I forgot. I'm tired.
I asked something about baseball.
What's
the difference between
there you go,
being on a turf field and a regular dirt field?
Well, the difference is high school baseball is going to have grass infield. Girls, ladies softball, fast pitch, if you will, they have dirt, and the ball just moves a little faster and a little harder on turf, and it don't get really bad hops, but it takes one hop and can pop right up in your face because it depends on the backspin. So, and then you're able to play.
So when do you determine your pitching rotation?
That's usually they determine it. In the beginning when you do pitching, you basically are stay on a pitch count,
Mhm.
not an inning count. So if you are scheduled to pitch 30 pitches and in the beginning, like next Wednesday, I think they'll be on a 30 or 35 pitch count. It don't matter if you have a no hitter,
Mhm.
you ain't staying
Gotcha.
because we want to save their arms and build it up.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Well, our guest is here. So,
Our guest is
our
here.
guest is here.
Our guest is here.
So we'll
Our
be
guest
bringing
is
her
here.
on here
Yes, we
shortly.
will. Yes,
So,
we will.
so where we're getting ready to transition to is talking about girls flag. But the person that I'm bringing on she is the history of girls flag because she was and in the beginning, right? So um I just need y'all to oh, hold on.
There we
He
go.
gotta get his notes for her bio. Um and so
Free information.
just
Free
for
information. I was trying to impress her.
I know. Um, but Mr. Brown, before we bring her on, I'm glad that we see you because our last 2 weeks we didn't have any nobody was able to do it, but I was able to find out what the setting was to fix that. So now we're able to get the setting. So I appreciate you being back and I hope you'll be able to. But right now I'm bringing my guest on because she's got to go work tomorrow.
How you doing?
Hey, Coach Grayson, how you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
I'm good.
Don't you remind you of my niece,
Which niece?
Jay's mom?
Ashley?
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
My niece. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, I just want to introduce you all to Coach Angellica Grayson. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was at the 2026 Coalition for um, the Minority Coalition, National Coalition of Minority Football
Mhm.
Coaches. I don't want to mess that up. And so we're a part of that. And so she was on one of the panels that was there. But prior to that, uh, we had conversed via, on the
Mhm.
phone and via texting and social media, so that we were able to meet. So that was my first time finally getting to meet her because she's one of my sheroes in this whole football world because there's not a lot of female football coaches in this whole football industry. So and she's one of them. So she's gonna give us her story. And if you have any questions that we feel like she could answer, we'll answer them. So, Coach,
Mm.
welcome, and thank you for
Thank
coming on.
you. Thank you. Thank you for the invite. I was excited when you told me about the podcast and when you invited me on. And I was disappointed that I couldn't make it last week, but then I made sure to make it today. And so I want to make sure I represented from all my football sisters out there.
Oh, I love it, love it. So, tell me about the coalition and your part of that, especially when they called you to be on the panel because that was huge.
Well, back in, I think it was 2020, 2021 is when I first heard, actually, it was the fall of 2020 when I first heard about the coalition. I was in a group of women called All Things Forward, and we just kind of help support each other and give each other advice and help us through the football space. And so I ended up finding out about it through the All Things Forward group. And so from there, when 2020 hit, of course, COVID was about to hit that same, yeah, about that same year it did hit. I had ended up finding out about it. I remember verbatim. I was sitting in my office and I was like, "What is this coalition? What is this about?" Found out more information. They're like, we only have a few hundred members, da 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 da. And it was at the beginning. And I was like, well, this is a good networking opportunity. I'm in a space where there's not very many resources or not very many people that look like me at that time. And so I joined the coalition, and I feel like that's one of the best decisions that I've made because I have connected with so many coaches. And I'm not just talking about female coaches, but just coaches in general. And everybody wanted to help everybody. Everybody wants to see others succeed. We're not crabs in a barrel. We're actually trying to help one another. Each one teach one type situation. And ever since I've been a part of it, I have gained a lot of knowledge of my football IQ, and I've also gained lifelong friendships with coaches. So I've done many things with them, and I love it.
Oh, I love it too.
Well, my thing is always I'm a history person. So
Hmm.
so with that said, is take us back yourself. Let's try high school.
Okay.
What sports did you play? Did you play powder puff at that time? That's what it was called.
Hmm.
Um, so take us in high school. What did you play in high school? What?
Well, I participated in volleyball, basketball, and track when I was in high school. Every time I say the word track, I can't believe I did that stuff, but I did. I, and
I'm
believe
with
you know,
you on that.
I'm 5'1", and so I used to do the hurdles, and so I did the 300 and 100 meter hurdles. I know, right? Right. I know. I did the
What
hurdles,
was
and
the
but
coach thinking?
but I can't. I wasn't thinking at all.
No, the coach, your
I
coach.
were they thinking? Oh, they were thinking my time was good. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah, that's all they were thinking. Because I'm a head
But
track coach, so I'm like, there's no way.
oh, I'm telling you, Terry, I'm telling you. Okay, we'll talk about that. But
Okay.
after my sophomore year, I knew I wasn't going to college to play to run track. I knew I wasn't going to do anything in track, and so I just focused on volleyball and basketball. And so I finished off my years playing volleyball and basketball while I was in high school. And I have still hold records today at my high school. And I had the records for assists and the records for steals.
All right.
And I was a big defensive person, which will transition later on about football. But
Mm-hmm.
I was always aggressive on defense. I wore knee pads because I was always on the floor, always trying to get the ball. And that's what contributed to my assist record. And so I had 99 steals in 3 years. And I also had 15 steals in one game, and we still lost the game.
Mm.
So that just goes to show you that I just knew that I was going to the WNBA at one point in time. I just
At
knew
five
it.
one.
I knew it. But that was not in the cards. That did not play for me. And yes, we did have powder puff. I can't stand that word today. It's real bubblegum to me. You
Okay, and
know.
let me say that because I say that and I said it loosely because
Oh
I said
yeah.
that's what they called it back then.
Hmm.
Because I just remember when I was at the University of Kentucky. Now, real quickly before I say this moment, what high school did you attend and where?
I attended North Crowley High School out of Crowley, Texas.
Okay, all right, because people want to know. They're gonna
Yes.
Google you. You know, so
Mhm.
that's a great thing. But the thing is, I never will forget when I was coaching. They called it Powder Puff at the University of
Mhm.
Kentucky. As a football player, we had our team, and our ladies that I was coaching refused to have Powder Puff in their name. They said
Mhm.
we're not powder, we're not puff, something like that. It's been so long ago, but they were making it crystal clear they ain't soft. so, so
Understood.
yeah. So when I said that, that's why I said it very loosely. And then, did you go off to college?
Yes, I did. I actually got a scholarship to play volleyball, believe it or not, and I walked on for basketball. I went to a college called Bacone College in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And I did my 2 years there, did volleyball, did basketball. I actually broke my finger and had to finish my season because I had to have surgery on my finger. And so that's what made me nervous because you need your index finger to set the volleyball.
Yeah.
And I was a bit perturbed. And at that time, when I was getting ready to get my associate's degree, I decided I wanted to attend an HBCU, Historical Black College University. That's where my mother grew up. That's where I come from in regards to my mom's side of the family. She graduated from Langston University, and so I grew up with knowing about HBCUs, and so I went to Grambling State.
Okay,
Um,
Grandma.
I went there, and I had to walk onto the volleyball team, and later on earned a scholarship, and so I played volleyball there for 3 years. Pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha Sport Incorporated, and I was a part of something called Black Dynasty Modeling Troupe. So I was very active, if you will, when I was on campus. And I know my grandmother wouldn't have it any other way. So I did quite a few things on campus with being an athlete, being a part of different clubs, the kinesiology club. I majored in kinesiology with a concentration in sport management and a minor in coaching. So then we didn't get help finding getting interns. I mean, getting internships. We had to
Mm,
find our own internships. These
okay.
days, these kids have a pathway.
Right.
And so I should have known then that was going to be my path with helping foundations and starting things or being introduced to things that are brand new. And
Hmm.
so that's what my life has been, is just doing new things, doing unprecedented things, and creating a pathway for the next.
Very
So,
good.
I love it. Okay, so from college, is that when you started the WNFC?
college, I did not. I didn't start playing football until like women's tackle until I was, I think, 25. It was
Okay.
in 2008.
Okay.
I think I was 25, 24, 25 years of age. But
Okay.
I've always wanted to play football. I wanted to play when I was in middle school, but I was told that if I play football in seventh grade, and then I want to play volleyball in eighth grade, the volleyball coach told me, like, well, Angelica, if you do that, you're gonna be, girl. She's like, girl, you're gonna be 1 year behind if you play football your first year and then volleyball your eighth grade year. And I thought to myself, dag, because I was competitive. And I
Right.
was like, well, if I do that, I don't want to be behind. I don't, and that's what,
Hmm.
as a middle schooler, I'm like, well, dang, I don't want to be behind. So I guess, let me stay with it. And so
Hmm.
I remember going into the locker room. I'm changing in my volleyball attire, and we had one girl on the football team. She was a cheerleader too. She was changing into her football pads. And I remember thinking to myself, dang, I really want to do that, but I never did until my 20s. I started playing flag football after I graduated from Grambling. I moved to Atlanta, and I lived there for about 3.5 to 4 years. And I played flag football with the church because I'm always going to find a community wherever I go. So my community was church. I went to church. They had a like health and fitness or a little competition flag football type stuff. I decided to play. And what most people don't know is my first time playing flag, like organized, like for real organized. I was the quarterback. And I know. We did not have very many receivers that could catch the ball. So anytime somebody rushed, I felt like I became a running back.
Okay.
So I remember thinking to myself, I need something a little bit more competitive. And so there was somebody there who had a team. And so I ended up playing women's contact flag. Once I got a piece of that, like contact flag, what? You can jump
What?
people off the
Right.
line? Shut your mouth. So that's what I was thinking. And I enjoyed playing it so much. And the person that introduced it to me, he was like, you should be playing linebacker. I didn't know what that was at the time. I didn't know what linebackers do. I didn't know the stance or anything like that. And he taught me everything I needed to know. And from there, I was like, I need just a little bit more. I'm looking for that, whatever I'm looking for. So the guy I was dating at the time, he was like, you should probably try out for that women's team. I was like, oh no, And at the time, my words were, I don't want to get hurt. That was my words at the time. So around the same time, a friend of mine, she said, hey, I'm going to a football game. Do you want to go with me? And I was like, well, who's playing in the summertime?
Right.
And I was like, what team is playing in the summer? And she was like, this is women's football team. I was like, what? Went to the game, and I remember saying, "Ooh, I can do that." And tried out. They tried to have me at running back. They ended up removing me to linebacker, and it's been history ever since. Mm.
So 15 years. And
15 years.
15 years. So throw all your accolades out there, girl. Because
All
tell them,
right.
drop your receipts.
All right. Receipts. I've made the all-star team about 6 or 7 times in my career. I have 6 championships back to back in a row, 49-0 in wins. The defensive player of the year in 2017. I've also made the women's national team in 2017, and won a gold medal and a championship ring the same year as getting defensive player of the year. That was one of my pivotal points. And on top of that, my career, I'm an educator. I was teacher of the year that year as well. A lot of
Okay.
PE teachers don't get teacher of the year, but
Right.
I got teacher of the year. So that's
That's
important for me.
absolutely.
Um, I've also, as a coach, I was able to win a ring with the Texas Elite Spartans, was all my accolades are typically from. I've won a gold medal as a coach at the junior national level, the 17U with USA football in 2024. I was an assistant coach. Last year, I was excuse me, a talent evaluator as a 17U with the U.S. national team. This year, I'm a quality control coach. And so I've got some gold medals, I've got some rings and things.
Okay, so what she didn't say was flag football started officially in NAIA in 2021, and you were one of the first coaches.
Yes, I was still a teacher, and an opportunity came to me, and somebody told me, they said, "Hey, have you heard about women's flag football being at the college level?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember hearing about it. That's great for the students. This would be great for them." Not even thinking about myself. He said to me, one of my friend coaches, he said, "Well, I think you would be a good coach. I think you should, look into it." And I was like, "You think so? Let me see something." So I remember researching, looking up what schools had them, and at the time it was 15 schools. And out of the 15 schools, I was like, "Well, let me see something." I emailed three schools. I emailed a school in Florida, I emailed a school in Nebraska, and a school in Kansas. I just sent them my resume, and all of them got to me within, I say, within a day or two. And then from there, all of them interviewed me, and all of them hired me. And I just got to pick. I prayed about it and made
Yeah,
sure it
which
was the
one you
right
wanted.
fit. Mm,
Well,
And
I
go
guess
ahead.
my thing is, I commend that based on your route as a player, because a lot of times when you do what you did, I mean, you did a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you with that. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes flag football, and because normally, if you up here with the big dogs and you're hitting and you're tackling, a lot of times, at least on a male perspective, they don't look at it as the same. And
Mm-hmm.
for you to sit there, I mean it in a complimentary way. I hope you're taking it that way,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that's impressive. Because you were up here, and then also they're talking about flag football.
Mm-hmm.
Not the contact flag football, but the other one. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, you're sitting there going, "Oh, I think I would like to coach that." That is commend of you and your character. That is fantastic. I like that, because you're going to bring a different aspect to flag football, than
Mm-hmm.
someone that hasn't did what you did. Do you feel that way?
Yes, I do. And there's certain things where people will tell me, and I don't really think about it until somebody says something to me because I love it just that much.
Right. Okay.
Um, I coached football at the middle school level where I was teaching. I was a PE teacher, and I coached 5011 sports. They make us coach everything.
Of
Um,
course. Yes.
so football, like when it came around, that was my thing. And I was able to coach them to two undefeated seasons along with a couple of coaches that I worked with. And for me, that was a great thing because they went on to go to high school to win a championship. So I felt like I was a part of that championship because I had these young men in middle school
So that's
teaching them
how
the
we feel.
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Now, was you the
yeah.
head coach?
No, I was the assistant coach.
I mean, but you was on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, with the
That's what I'm
dogs.
talking. See, that's why we're right here.
With the
She, she's
dogs.
she's one of those. She's a offensive.
Offense. I just look at offense. You're just playing catch. I mean,
Well, you got to write everything down for 'em. Subject
that's
change. Go ahead.
that's funny, but it was a good time coaching those young gentlemen, and for flag football to come into play, I was extremely excited about it because I knew I had played it, I had been a part of it, and just never got the opportunity to coach it. And so when that happened, I ended up leaving education altogether, which was a big leap. Many people go from middle school, high school, and then college.
Yeah.
And for
You
me,
went from middle school straight to college. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I always said, who said that you had to take those steps? Who
That part.
who's who said
Yes.
that? Like, who made that a rule? Where is that at? And that's how I thought. And then when it happened, it was just like, shoot, you can't tell me, that you can't go from middle school to college. And so I did that, and I think I shocked myself.
Hmm.
But I will say I shocked myself even more by taking not just the leap, by taking the jump. I also took a pay cut that many people are not willing to take. But I
Absolutely.
knew at that time that the opportunity was too great for me not to take it.
Hmm.
And I don't regret the decision because I don't believe I would have been a Bill Walsh fellow with the Washington football team at the time before they changed the Commanders, because I was one of the nine. And when I got to do the internship there, it was fabulous. It was great. It was everything that I needed to know, that it was a place that I did not really want to be. Now, when I say that to people, they lose their rocker when I say that. But that's the whole point of being an intern, is to figure
To
out
see if
is
it's what you want. Hmm.
Yeah.
and what I learned is I want to be in football in a different space, but not maybe necessarily like as far as at the NFL level on the sidelines. I feel like
Hmm.
I can do I can impact the game in other ways outside of being a coach. And that's what I learned along the way. Um, so while at the school, giving these girls these opportunities to play football, I had 9 girls that never played flag because it wasn't big in high school just yet.
Hmm.
It wasn't sanctioned in most of these states like it is right now. And I only had one young lady that played flag football, just one, and she's from out of Vegas. And she recently graduated, and so the girls that I had, I follow them. And it just so happens that one of the girls that I coached, she is now the head flag football coach of the school.
Oh, I love it. That's
So
good stuff.
So that stories like that, and to see her develop into a young woman coming from her being a player, because I had her at her freshman year, and to see who she is today, it almost freaks me out because it's just like, oh my gosh, like you're like a young adult now.
Yeah, they grow
Like
up fast.
yes, they do. And it's for me, it's a pleasure to see where she is today because I knew she wanted to coach then. So we got to do camps and I got to see her develop. And that's where my love comes from, is helping develop other coaches.
Right.
I love it. So, Mr. Brown has a question. He said, "What fundamental techniques do you introduce players to when you teach them the sport?"
Um, Definitely route running. That's a lot of people. I'm not gonna say don't do route running right, but every coach has a certain way that they want their routes to be ran. Sticking to the basic of fundamentals of route running, especially my newbies, my new young ladies, they don't understand what a post route is and how you're supposed to
Right.
run it. Sometimes you have to put cones out there so they can see it, feel it, and then I'm a progression type coach. Take the cones away and then put a person there so they can see how they're supposed to run the route. And so definitely route running, catching with your hands and not your body.
Okay,
Good
so
question.
that was a good question. Did you? I forgot. Did you have some?
No, go ahead.
I
Go
thought I
ahead.
cut
I
you off.
have a question, but I'm
Go
good.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, babe. We're
Okay,
good.
so
Thank you.
when you went from, I want to go back to the whole middle school part because that's where we are. We're at middle school, and I have
Hmm.
no desire to go to another level. I don't even want to coach high
Okay,
school.
I gotta cut you.
Hmm.
None of that.
Okay, here's the thing, guys, is I was a high school coach for many, many years. When our son was blessed to start as a freshman at
Hmm.
the high school here in Lexington, which don't happen, uh, I dropped down to middle school and
Hmm.
brought Terri on as the assistant head coach. And everybody thought I was bringing her on, like they would think I would bring you on to be
Hmm.
the team mom. And I had
Hmm.
to remind her she is not a team mom, she's a coach. She can coach. And now she's the offensive coordinator. And but with that, my point of my question to you is what about her is I think she would blossom more if she did go to high school because the
Hmm.
kids can do a little bit more, and then you have to expand your coaching out. Because middle school is limited. Because normally you have 4 superstars, you're gonna be pretty good in middle school, at least in
Hmm.
this area. And I told her that if she went to high school, all the coaching that is in her would come out. Do you feel that yourself that you actually knew something but never knew it until you had to show that you knew it when you went to the next level high school? I mean, to the college.
I think a good coach is the coach that can coach middle school because you have to take that same teaching, that same knowledge. If you can coach a 5-year-old to do a play, then you can coach anybody after that. Because you have to be able to break it down and have differentiating of coaching, not just teaching, but
Right,
of coaching
right.
to be able to reach that particular student athlete to be able to do something. And then to your point, I see what you're saying as far as you would get more knowledge at the high school level, your IQ is going to increase. You can actually see your scheme work because you're dealing with more athletic young men who can make
Right.
the scheme
And
work
that's what
for
I mean.
you.
And not nothing negative one way or the other.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that's a lot. I became a better I became a better coach when I went to high school
Uh-huh.
because what I thought worked on the high school coaching level didn't work. So I had to like work harder and craft my defensive scheme.
Hmm.
Because my defensive scheme is we blitz. I mean, a lot.
You
I
attack.
mean,
I like it.
our nose guard gets interceptions. Our defensive ends gets
Oh.
interceptions. Our safety leads the team in sacks, and they're 14, 13 yards. We don't get on the line of scrimmage. We're actually in the defensive stand, and they get there.
Hmm.
It's like the 46 of the Chicago Bears. I mean, we will blitz. I remember one time one coach said, "Did you blitz all 11 guys?"
And he did.
And I did. And
Oh,
on the snap of the ball, you couldn't tell they were coming.
okay. Okay.
And
What type of defense you running?
it's called the storm.
The store? Okay.
This storm defense, yes, and it worked well. We've done it in high school. We give nothing but signals. Like when you break the huddle, my defensive guys are looking at me,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just look. And then all of a sudden, I give a signal who I want to do what, where I want you to go, what's your key, and so we do a lot of studying. So based on her, I'm telling her, okay, if she went up against me, okay, if she went to high school, she was like, okay, this doesn't work there. Now I've got to change it to this. And I
Mm-hmm.
just think a lot of times it works in middle school because, at least in this area, if I got more talent than you, then I think that scheme actually works.
Like
But
kind
if
of
you got,
like I'm sorry, kind of like it like Pee
no,
Wee
you good.
football. Like Pee Wee football, it's not like you got somebody that can throw bombs every single time
Yes.
down the field consistently, and you got a great receiver. They usually run the ball and they run where? To the outside. That can only work so long.
So for so long.
Yes, and so I see what you're saying in that aspect of how even though Terry doesn't have any desire to get to the high school level, it sounds like she enjoys the fundamentals of the
Well,
No, no,
sport.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I don't is because I feel like the only reason why I had an opportunity was because my husband gave me an opportunity, and I just don't think other
Mm,
coaches is going to give me
hmm.
that opportunity.
okay, but again, we played this tennis match, and I'm Serena Williams when we play this tennis match in her prime. I'm here an ace. Okay, every time. Coach, he wants to go back now. I'm out volleying. I'm on Serena Williams in her prime. I'm here an ace. And I tell her it's because people didn't know her knowledge of football. I
Hmm.
mean, people, if they don't know, like if I just met you, I don't know your history.
Hmm.
Okay, you got to give me, like she said, your receipt. Then I went, wow. And then that respect comes because if they're a real coach, male or female, they're going to hire you because they want to win.
Right.
If they're a real coach, if they got other little issues, there's nothing you can do about that. If they're going to be a chauvinist about male or female, but I could care less. I mean, I would. I mean, like you was talking about, you played football. Did I not try to recruit girls to play on my football team?
Yes,
Oh my God.
we had one on the team, and she just didn't finish the season.
Yeah,
But she was probably one of our hardest hitters on the team.
she was
Oh
unbelievable.
wow.
I
Hmm.
mean, because at that age, especially middle school, number one,
Hmm.
they're faster. Okay, most of the little girls are fast at that
Hmm.
young age,
They are.
and they're stronger. And they have the will to win, and that mindset of success is just amazing. And I wanted that to feed off on my boys who was whining all the time, and I was like, it's been real. So, but going back to your coaching at flag football, okay,
Hmm.
so James, going back to your coaching at flag football. So when you first took over, did you have that intensity like it was tackle football and they had to say, Coach, this is flag? Uh,
I still coach the same the way I
Okay.
coach tackle the same way I coach flag.
Okay. Good
You
stuff.
can still have that, I guess these words people say passion,
Mhm.
or that excitement, that rah rah. You can still have that same thing with flag because you're still making plays.
Right.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
That's
Good
good
stuff.
stuff.
I like it.
So, what leadership qualities do women often bring to the football programs that people sometimes overlook?
Um, that's a good question. I believe that the qualities that we bring to that men might miss out sometimes is the emotional piece. We're not just, oh, you'll get over it, but there might be something deeper as to why that person made the same mistake over and over. We get down to the root to it, and then we want to make corrections, not just a temporary fix. um, I believe that a different perspective is good to have with different things. You might say left, I might say right, but we can both meet in the middle and discuss both of our, why we chose left and right and understand each other. And I think having a good perspective is a great perspective because, excuse me, having a different perspective is a great perspective because you want to be able to know what everybody else is thinking and why they're thinking a certain way. Um, we know there's more than one way to skin a cat, so why not learn the other ways in case one way doesn't work? We know that when you're on your way to work, there might be traffic, but you can go another way to get there. And
Mhm.
just knowing other ways, it might take longer, it might take shorter, but just knowing other ways to me makes you a better coach because you're not just sticking to what you know. You're learning other aspects of it.
I mean, well, I didn't say it exactly that way, but that's what I meant by her going to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you know, me running my defense, I know it works at the
Mm-hmm.
high school level, middle school level, it works, and it works in the college level because I stole it from college, and
Mm-hmm.
I just and that's my point about her going to high school because if she went to high school, I mean, her brain is amazing. Strategy, she's a chess player, not a checkered player. She's gonna set you
Mm-hmm.
up, and with the okie doke, she's gonna set you up. And I just, me personally, as her husband, and also as her coaching ability, wants people to see what I know, if that makes sense. So when you
Mm-hmm.
said it that way, that's what I meant. I want people to know she's not bad. She can't stop. My defense can stop her offense, but that's a different story.
That I think maybe a high school coach, but maybe not necessarily a high school coach, the coach where you are. It sounds like Terry wants to go do it elsewhere where she can earn it herself without. I, s- I can't. I don't know how to explain that, but I'm saying it without saying it. Um,
Yeah.
I think she wants to earn it and not for it to be given because of somebody else.
Well, but no, no, no. I'm not talking about me going with her. I'm talking about her
Okay.
going off on her own and becoming a high school coach.
And I think that
And
Mm-hmm.
sounds really, really good.
but
But
remember, I
in
say this
this
all the time.
area,
You need
I
somebody
just don't
else.
think that that'll ever happen.
Well, but sometimes, here's the thing is, and we're off the subject a little bit, but
Yeah.
sometimes the main objective in life, I mean, you can sit there and think everything's peaches and herb all you want to. It's not. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
knowing someone can get you that break to
Yeah.
bless you, and you take it. I mean, if I got a job because of who I was, but I kept the job for 22 years because I could do the job. But if I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get the job from somebody that who I was, I wouldn't have been able to be in this position. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even in the coaching field, male or female, you can get a job because they think you can do the job because they don't know because you're not there yet. But
Mm-hmm.
then once you get it, you prove, yes, that's a good hire. And that's what I'm saying. If my name and my influence helps her get to a position to make her successful, she's gonna keep the job because she knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're
Because-
saying, and
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
see that. That kind of makes sense. It's kind of like again the whole reason why going to the coalition and being a part of the coalition is just so
Yeah.
important. It's just
It's connections.
yeah, the
Yeah.
connections. You know, I'm so thankful even for Jennifer King.
Yes.
You know, she
Yeah.
was able to get, you know, she's part of the coalition. She was able to get a job from one of the coalition coaches. And so I get that. That kind of makes sense. My girl Letitia Gilmore's on here. Hey, she's a
Hey, Gilmore.
now Mr. Brown said in flag, are most plays passing, running, or both? So let's talk about for people that don't really know a whole lot about flag. It seems like passing the
Okay.
football would be more effective in your offensive schemes.
It's going to depend on what the defense is running and how you're going to run your offense. And it's mostly passing in flag, yes, but you can hand some handoffs depending on what rules you play. You're not able to run the ball within 5 yards from the end zone, for example. But with flag, it's a whole lot of passing for sure. And so
Okay.
you got to make sure your defense is on point.
Now, do you use two quarterbacks in passing? Like sometime in flag football, they'll snap
Hmm.
it, throw it way over to the other end
So like a
so the
wildcat
defense
type
can
of.
move.
Yes, how what we would some of us would call that is called the star, where you would
Yes.
throw it back to when I was coaching, I remember there was a young lady, what team was that? I think it was St. Thomas, one of them schools in Florida. And there was one girl that was just whooping up on everybody all year long. And
Hmm.
so how I did the defense was everybody was in the zone and I put my best, fastest girl on their best girl. And so they
Hmm.
tried to run that star. And
And
then
that didn't
I
work. You shut it
Nope.
down.
I told my player, I said, wherever she go, you go. I
You,
said, I don't care about nothing else. You stay on her. And then, I mean, she still caught some passes, but she didn't
yeah,
get as many yards
right.
as she
It's kind of
would.
like in basketball and putting her in a box and run.
Right. Right.
Okay. I was a basketball coach too. So do you pattern your offensive schemes off any NFL teams? And who is your NFL team?
I don't go off any offensive schemes of NFL teams. I know a lot of people try to take their scheme from tackle and move it to flag. It depends on how you coach it. You're gonna have to make some tweaks. But I prefer to have a flag football scheme, not a coming from tackle scheme.
Hmm.
Again, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you want to have flag football plays. For example, you want to run like double routes, double moves in flag.
Okay.
In tackle, you can, but you don't have that much time
Right.
to do all that. You're not going to get 7 seconds. You
Hmm.
shouldn't in tackle anyway. Then your D line's
Right.
not doing what they're supposed to.
Right.
Um, but when it comes to the scheme of the defense, you got to have a certain scheme of how you're going to run it. Like if they're in a bunch, how you're going to run your defense, whether you're playing fives or sevens, and that's a whole nother ball
Whole
game.
another thing is fives, but the difference between fives and sevens.
Yes, you
So is it
can't play the
mostly
same
7-on-7
defense.
or most 7-on-7?
Yes, in college it's all 7 on 7. At the
Okay.
Olympic level, it's going to be fives. In some
Okay.
tournaments, they're fives.
Okay. So is the USA doing fives?
Yes, they're all
Okay.
fives.
All fives. Okay, that's good to know.
Well, is it the no blocking at all?
No blocking,
No
completely
blocking at all.
non-contact. Hmm.
Okay.
The rusher has to rush. If we're talking about USA football rules, the rusher has 7 yards to rush, and they have to identify themselves and raise their hand. Now, in college, you're playing sevens, but the rusher is like a yard off the ball,
Okay.
and you can block in college. And
Okay.
so, how I
Yeah.
look at the blocking is look at it as a moving screen.
Okay.
Okay. Now you said you have to identify, meaning you have seven people in front of you. I'm the quarterback, and this person over on my left decides that's the one that's rushing, so they have to say I'm rushing.
They
Is that
just
what
have to
you
raise
said?
their hand. They
They,
just have
they
to raise their hand,
they don't have
and
to
they have.
be anywhere. They can
They're
be anywhere.
usually anywhere behind the line of scrimmage, but if you have to be 7 yards from the ball, you have to be 7 yards. But you typically don't want to rush from the side. You want to rush straight zip
Right.
line.
Right up the middle.
Right. Well, there
Hmm.
was a flag football game I was watching, and they did rush on the sides. They had one of their fastest. It was a left-handed quarterback, so they was rushing towards the left side to make that left-handed quarterback go to their right, so they
Okay.
couldn't set up. So they was actually like rushing not straight ahead. They would come from the side to get the left-handed quarterback to go to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would open up, and I thought that was different. I've never seen that scheme before. I thought that was, and maybe it's
You,
because
what you'll find is some coaches, because I coach the rushers. Depending on if the quarterback is right or left-handed, that's the side of the ball you rush from. I like to rush them close to the center so that way they can just zip line down because depending on how fast your quarterback or how good they are, if they can throw the ball, if they can handle pressure, that won't bother them too much. But if
right,
you're rushing too far, I get the concept though, but if you're rushing too far, then you're giving that quarterback more time to throw it.
right.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, she said, "Hey, my coaches, love you guys. Love you, Letitia." Okay, so coach, so only 16 states are sanctioned. I think that
it's a
was the
little bit
last
more
one.
than 16, if I'm not mistaken, since the last sanctioned state. Hopefully Texas is the next one. They're supposed to go
Okay.
for a vote in June in
Hmm.
Austin to see about sanctioning the sport. The Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, they're collaborating and they're trying to get as many schools to participate because Texas said you have to have an X amount of schools before we can sanction the sport.
Okay, so what? Okay, so we're not sanctioned here in the state of Kentucky.
Okay.
So I've talked to our high school association about it, and I think it's on the emerging sports list or something
Oh,
like that.
good.
But what do you feel like is the best way to create a program? Because we're a state that don't have an NFL team, and most NFL teams are
Hmm.
backing um, most of the state flag programs. Like Georgia,
Hmm.
pays for
Yeah.
for you know Atlanta, the Falcons pays for the whole state of Georgia. The Panthers pay for the whole state of North Carolina, that type of thing. So I think we may be able to use the Bengals. The Bengals are borderline, and then south of us, we have the Titans. But if we don't get the NFL backing, what do you think would be the best um, way for us to help build up our state to get it sanctioned or just to get more interest for girls?
Well, starting with interest, it's always good to have camps or some type of clinics because a lot of these girls don't know what they like until they do it. There's a statistic that says that there are a lot of girls that don't do any sport at all, but when flag football came into the picture, they became an athlete, and that's 50% of them, and so that's a pretty big significant number to me. And so just providing the space and the place and opportunity for them is going to allow them to come to it. Like that old movie, if you build it, they will come.
Hmm.
And that's such a serious line. If you provide that space and opportunity, they will definitely come. But start off with camps and clinics, even having parents to be there just to understand the game themselves a little bit better as well. Having a parent camp, a parent clinic, just to gauge the interest, and then from that interest, then there you can probably create a league depending on your number that you have.
Okay. Well, we hosted our first girls flag camp last year, and we got another one coming up in 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, we had like 60 girls show up. We had like four
Oh,
college
good.
coaches show up, and so we're hoping that the number will increase this year. Um, the adjustment that we do have to make, though, is the college coaches that are coming are ones that are starting new programs. So in the
Hmm.
future, we're going to have to change the date so that it doesn't interfere with the spring. So it's most college seasons in the spring, correct? Was yours in the
Yes,
spring or was it in the fall?
it's in the spring. All of us are going to be in the spring. All the
Okay, all the college
flag. Hmm.
girls flag is in the spring. Okay, so we're gonna have, we've already looked at having to move our clinic to later on in the year after the season is over with, so that we could get those college coaches, that are not in season. But right now, only the coaches that are trying to build a program are the ones that have been showing up. Well, that showed up to last year, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's what's going to happen this year too. So, she said she thinks she loves sevens more than fives. Do you think that the youth level there should be a pivot to sevens, particularly for girls because high school and college both play sevens?
I that's teacher, that's a good question because I used to not care for fives. Because I was such a sevens coach coming from tackle. And when I started learning more about fives, the game exposes people. So in sevens, you can hide people a little bit, but in fives, you get exposed. And I like how fast the game moves. It's quick. You got to make a decision quickly. And so that's why I've started to like fives a little bit more because it's definitely a scheme, intricate type game. When it comes to sevens, because don't get me wrong, I love sevens too, but I know sometimes it can be difficult when you're playing in college and you're trying to go to the Olympic pathway and then you go from sevens to fives. So you're gonna have to
Hmm.
play both throughout the year.
Okay, so that would be my next follow-up question is how do you get everyone is doing sevens if you're wanting to transition into the USA that
Mm.
does fives?
There are many tournaments that just do fives.
Five. Okay.
And also in college, if you're thinking on as the finance piece of having sevens, you could have more people on your roster. If you are doing fives, nobody wants 30 people for fives. But
Right.
if you're doing sevens, you can do 30 people on your roster.
Right.
Okay. So with fives, how many is the max on the roster?
With on the roster with USA Football 12, and also with some leagues, you have a max of players that you can have as well. So
So
12.
12. Oh
Hmm.
wow. It's almost like basketball.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Well,
So
and
if you if one or two go down, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and I guess my thing is I've always liked sevens because more can play it.
yes.
It's more opportunity. When I think of fives, when I watch five, it goes back to my word of middle school having. I've got five studs.
Mhm.
Okay, they're going to stand out because God has blessed them to run and jump faster. Okay, with sevens, I got a young lady that's just grinding, and
Hmm.
she just doesn't run as fast and whatever, but she's on scholarship now. She's got
Hmm.
an opportunity to get her academics and don't have to be the elite. And because I've seen five is fast.
Yeah.
It's fast. I mean, they fast, they fast, and so. But I guess that's what my biggest thing is why wouldn't they just because it's an upcoming huge, it's catching on. Why wouldn't everybody just be on the same page to build it up? I mean,
Because
because
that's a good question. Because that question is equivalent to saying, why don't everybody just get along?
good
Right.
response. Yeah,
Um, Everybody has their own way of doing things, and everybody has their way of, I'm running this, I'm gonna do it that way. I see benefit and pros in this way, and some people see benefits and pros in their way. I'm not gonna say any way is the wrong way or any way is the right
right,
way. Whatever way is working, that's the way that they're doing. As long as
right.
these girls are getting scholarships and they're being seen, I say, hey, every way is the right way. Mm.
Okay. So what when you're recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
so let's say I have some girls here, coaches. I've networked with college coaches for flag recruiting. What stood out to you the most as far as the top qualities you were looking for in an athlete for flag? Because I know it's different across the sports, different sports. You're going to look for something different. So, what are the qualities that um, girls need to have if they're wanting to play college flag?
The same grit that you have in tackle is the same grit you need for flag. Even though it's a non-contact sport, there's a lot of incidental contact. I want you to be able to go up, grab the ball, and accidentally get bumped, but not drop the ball.
Okay.
You still have to have some type of toughness about you. When you're recruiting, not only are you looking for players that have a good GPA, you're also looking for players of character. When I was at the University of St. Mary, I was lucky enough to win 2 years in a row out of all the other colleges to win. Was it? I forgot the name of it. We got recognized for our character because we did a lot of
Okay.
community service. We went to elementary schools. We taught flag football there to their PE programs and went to the high schools. Like we got out there to let people know that they're here, and we exist, and come
Hmm.
into our space and come check us out. So we're looking for players that exhibit a certain type of grit, a certain type of character, because I don't want to go to your social media and all I see is a whole
Ratchet.
bunch of beach photos, like the middle finger. There was one girl that I was when I saw her play, I was like, oh, I gotta have her on
Yes.
my team.
Yeah.
First thing I do, I go to the social media. I didn't like what I saw. I saw a whole bunch of middle fingers and
Yeah.
beach photos and all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't think I'm a.
Yeah.
It changes, puts a
It
different
changed your
flavor
perspective.
in your
It
mouth.
matters.
It
It matters.
does.
It matters.
It changed your
It
perspective. Yeah.
does,
Oh
and
wow. And I don't think that
matters.
understand that. Now, does I know a lot of things we talk about is you're recruiting the whole family. Have you ever
Yes.
not recruited a kid because the parents was ratchet?
Not at the beginning, but I know other coaches who have. I know other coaches who sit in the stands and they sit near, like they don't come in their paraphernalia. They'll sit near the
Yeah.
family and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
listen.
Hmm.
Because if you're cussing out the coach sitting in the stands, what make you feel like you're not going to cuss me out and then try to embarrass me when I've got a team to coach?
Yeah.
So, as a coordinator in my district, we talked about certain things in the flag football meeting, and I discussed with the parent. We're not saying that you're going to like everything that we do, but what I did say was, um, if you're not liking what the decision that the coach is making, or you're not liking what they're doing, I tell them to keep just be mindful of what they're saying around their kid, because that's going to give them a complex to the coach, and it's going to make it difficult for that child to blossom, because they're hearing what the parent is saying, and then whatever the parent is saying might be completely opposite for that child.
Hmm.
And so it puts them in a certain situation. I love my mom, I love my dad, but my coach is helping me get places, but this is what they're saying about my coach, and I don't know how I can get through that. So I parents have to be mindful of what they're saying, especially in the stands.
Man, that's
Right. But
facts.
that comes with the parent meeting, because a lot
Yes.
of times parents are not mindful because they only see what they want to see. And
Yes.
we went through that my first year. We had a parent that, I don't believe in cussing because I can make my point. So there's no cussing at all.
Mm-hmm.
None, zero. And she decided she wanted to cuss during the game. And I asked her to stop twice very nicely. And then I walked up in the stands during the game and told her son to come in that he's no longer on my team. And he
Mm,
started. I was
dang.
like, we're not doing and
And that send a message to the rest of the parents
yeah, because that's going to be very hard, because I know when we coach, that's the hard thing right now is
dealing with
preparing. That was a
parents,
great question, Terry,
dealing
because
with parents.
the parents think they're doing the right thing, but they're hurting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Here in Lexington, a college right down the street was looking at a kid, was going to offer him point blank D1 school. He's standing there talking to me. I know the coach. And all of a sudden, the kid fumbled the ball, took his helmet and threw it. And he said, Coach Bryant, have a nice day. And I said, you leaving? He goes, yeah, he's going to get me fired. He said, I
Oh
get,
wow.
yeah, he said, I can't recruit. He's a killer coach,
A coach killer.
a
Yeah.
coach
Coach
killer.
Kelly.
Yeah, a coach killer. And that's what he said. He's going to get me fired. And my wife ain't going to be happy. He's going to get me fired. So, so he didn't offer the kid, young man.
and
And I
and
think
that they can lose scholarships, just as fast as you get noticed is as fast as you become forgotten.
Yes.
so. What Mr. Brown said. What are the most injuries in flag, girls flag?
um so let's be real here. So women, us ladies, we have cycles.
Yeah.
And because of cycles, especially when you're about to start your cycle and when you're on your cycle, our joints are looser. And so a lot of times that can cause more injury because of just how our body is reacting to the cycle.
Hmm.
And you'll see a lot of knees in flag
ACL.
football. Yes.
Hmm.
And so, as far as your training, now you have to start working on preventative measures to strengthen up your quads to help with your knees. And that's probably the most thing that you're going to see is our knees. in flag football. Now you'll get some ankles, here and there as well, but usually those are like freak accidents when it's an ankle type of thing. But when it's your knees, it's usually sometimes nobody's on you. You just make a bad cut. Um, Anything of that nature. And a lot of times you're usually about to start your cycle or you're on your cycle.
Well, I have a question. Speaking of the human body, what is y'all's workout? I've seen ladies basketball workout, which is totally different from ladies softball, totally different from ladies volleyball. I mean, there's
Mhm.
some similar lifting. So what is a flag football? What is y'all main objective to work on? Lower body, upper body, hand strength? What is if you're in a weight room, what would be something that your ladies do?
So when I had my ladies in the weight room, we did a lot of preventative things. And a lot of times it wasn't just about lifting heavy. It was just about maintaining the muscles that we do have and of course strengthening
And so,
them,
yeah,
but
Mhm.
strengthening them from potential injury. And when it comes to grip, um, they would grip, I can't remember what it was, but it was something in our weight room that we had that they would turn and turn and turn to work on their grip, and then also worked on their forearm strength. So when they are catching the ball, they can catch it and grip down that ball. So when you did get bumped in the air, incidentally, all that comes into play as well.
okay,
Also, when it comes to the workouts, you want to focus a lot on your joints to make sure
Mm.
that those are good to go before you start lifting into the heavy stuff or before you start jumping a lot. And you want to do the plyos, working on your knees, taking your time. All those things is what's going to help you within the flag football space of just focusing on your joints and making sure they're maintained.
okay. All right, because there's a lifting thing of what that's a lot with baseball. We do that to work on the
Hmm.
forearm and the hands. So okay, because I
Especially somebody that can't catch a cold, that'll definitely help them.
almost
Yeah.
definitely, most definitely, most definitely.
So if you had a chance to change one thing about how women's football is viewed today, what would it be?
To try it.
To
Try
just
it
try.
before you buy
Yeah.
it. Just try it because you might end up liking it.
So what do parents often get wrong when supporting their daughters in sports?
Oh, that's a great one. What do parents often get wrong with supporting them? Mm,
Hmm.
that's you. Let me think on that one.
Yeah, I
I
would
know
have a
what it
thought.
is.
What is it?
I'm gonna let her think on it for a second.
Let
I don't want to influence her
me
answer.
see. What do they often get wrong? I don't say they get it wrong. I'm just having a better understanding of the sport and what their daughter is going through. So if they're coming home and they just lost a championship game, sometimes the parent can be like, "Oh,
It's just a
you'll play
game.
another one." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's and then for a child, for a young person, that's like to me almost the worst things to say at that time.
Yeah.
You can say it later on, but at that time they need more I want to say consoling, but
Yeah.
more of being able to
Come,
tell them what they did do good and being able to tell them these are some things we need to work on.
Yeah.
yeah,
It kind of goes back to the love and basketball when Monica was dealing with her mom. That's
Hmm.
what that question made me think of that.
Monica.
Yeah, because she was like her mom didn't understand, and I think that that's part of the problem too. Is that you have especially the moms that didn't play a sport, and so they don't really understand. I think
Right.
the biggest issue we're having at the middle school level are kids still wanting to play dual sports, and they think that, and they don't understand that once you get to high school, you and so
unless you're outstanding,
yeah, unless
you got to be
you're
outstanding.
just outstanding.
But
So
most college coaches love dual sport players. I know
I
I
was
do.
going to say that.
I
do
Yes.
you
love
like yeah.
I love dual sport. But okay, let's go back to Monica thing. Okay, here's the problem I had on that show when they said this. Like y'all here to help me if I'm wrong. I'm good. Okay, the mother. What gets me with people is when they say the parent has to or the parent should. Question to ask
They don't know.
if you don't know. I'm a high school coach and I've watched kids go off to college for many years. I didn't know what question to ask when my son was going off to college
Yeah.
because normally
Mm,
as a coach, I get you to this point, then after that they talk to the parents. I've never
Yeah.
been there. And I didn't know what question. So when Monica was talking to her moms, to me, it's sort of like I had to do with my sports person. Mom, I want you to come to the game. I went out of my way to make sure my mom, God rest her soul, would come to the game because I wanted mom to know it mattered if she came to the game. And
Mhm.
you remember in the scene,
Yeah.
she said, I didn't think it mattered because your sister and your dad came.
Mhm.
Okay. And it wasn't mom's fault. She thought, okay, there's a home cooked meal. We get to talk about it
Mhm.
after. And I guess that's my biggest thing with parents. That parent that you don't think is interested doesn't think it matters to them if you showed up. And I just think kids need to tell that parent, please come to the game.
Yes. And the
Does that
thing
make sense?
is, if the parent doesn't know how to communicate, it's probably hard for the child to know how to communicate.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if you
But
have coaches to help with that, if a
yes.
child can say, "Hey, mom, it would mean a lot to me if you came to my game."
Yes. Well, what we did is in closing on me is I would say, kids, tell your grandparents, your grandmom, granddad, your cousin, your auntie, everybody come to the game. Tell them we got a game in 2 weeks. Remind them over and over. As a coach, I would actually tell my players to tell their family. And
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
games is packed because they've got long lost cousins at games because the kid they do it's packed.
That's funny.
It is for a middle school football game. It's packed. I mean, we make a pretty good gate because I would specifically tell the parent. I mean, tell the kid. When you go over your auntie's house who babysits you, tell her to come to the game, and then the auntie feels special, like,
You're
oh, you
right.
really want to come. I just think that
You're right.
sometimes you gotta, as you see, well, you said it, the coaches got to help out a little bit, but
Just a little bit, and
just a little
you'll be shocked. And you're right. I would feel good if someone came to me and say, "Hey, coach, it would mean a lot to me if you came to my game." And then at
bit.
that point, I'm
Yes,
like, "Okay, I got to be at that game."
I gotta be at that game.
Yeah.
Because it means a lot. Well, on this is Hits and Hills. It's very nice. Your resume is second to none. God has truly blessed you. So proud of you. But I have a personal. Do you have kids?
No, I have no kids.
Okay, I was just gonna say, what was they doing if you did? So that's just me. I always ask. I always ask because you're truly blessed and wish you well. And I usually leave and let her close her show out. I always appreciate my wife to let me be on Hits and Hills, but it really is an honor to meet you and uh I know your strategy a little bit if I'm coaching against you in flag.
Oh,
You
okay, we
know,
can bring it now. Thank
yeah,
you.
we got I like
Thank
to
you. I
blitz.
appreciate it.
All right.
I
Coach, that's
appreciate it.
very nice meeting you.
All right, likewise.
Thanks, babe. Okay, so coach, I'm gonna go because it's late. So what
Hmm.
legacy do you want to leave for the next to want to play football?
The legacy I would like to leave for the next generation is to know that for someone that looks like me, they can do it as well, but do it beyond me. And so I feel like, the generation before me, they might have walked. I might have taken the car. My next generation should be able to take a jet.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you've ever wanted to say publicly that you've never had a platform in order to say that you want to say right now?
Mm. Oh, Terry, you asked some good questions tonight. Um, no matter who you are, what you look like, no matter skin, gender, or whatever, if it's in your heart to do it, that means it's probably the right thing to go ahead and do it.
That's big time, coach.
Mm.
Listen,
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. Of course, it was just again, your resume just spoke for itself. So it's such an honor just to have you on my show that you even said yes. I was just in awe because
Mm.
before I think we even started talking, I've been following you for years.
I had
Um,
no idea. Thank you.
yes, I've been following you for years. Kind of just watching from afar. And sometimes people like you, I I'm in awe, and I feel like you're untouchable or unapproachable because
Mhm.
of where you are as far as in your status, and that's the high esteem that I had you. And then
Mhm.
when I, reached out, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like down to earth.
Mhm.
And so,
Absolutely.
and I just appreciate that. I mean, getting a hug from you at the coalition was, and watching you on the panel was just everything to me. And it's just so great to have to be able to meet my sheroes. Like you're one of my sheroes in person because there aren't too many of us women in the football space. So I just want to thank
Mhm.
you for being on my show. And and you hear all that noise? Yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
All right. Appreciate you being on my show. And yeah, I'm ready to end this stream. But is there anything
Okay.
else to
Well,
note?
I appreciate you and thank you. But one thing I forgot to mention, which I should have mentioned, is
No
like
worries.
I said, 2017 was a pivotal year for me in football. But last but not the least, I am a part of the Women's Hall of Fame. Okay.
You're and that's in your bio. You're part of the Women's Football Hall of Fame. Now,
Yes, ma'am. Oh, did you say something?
yeah, did I glitch? Where is
Yeah.
the Football Hall of Fame located? The Women's Football Hall of Fame located? Is there a building?
Um, there is not a building. We're not like in Ohio, like that type of Hall of Fame.
Right.
But in our women's space, there is a Women's Hall of Fame, and
The Women's
so
Hall of Fame. Oh my
I'm,
God.
I was glad
I
to be a
didn't
part of that.
the Women's Football Hall of Fame. And there can't be that many people in there.
Mm-mm,
Oh,
there
yeah.
isn't. Jen Welter is one of them. Quite a few people.
She one of the
Uh,
founders of
she's
that.
not one. She's not one of the founders, no, but she's one of the women who were selected to be a part of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I figured she was because she was the first, right? And so, okay, cool, good stuff. Well, listen, thank you again. I
Mm.
appreciate you.
Absolutely,
Um,
Terry. Thank you.
so I'm gonna end the stream, but don't go nowhere. I'm
Okay.
gonna talk some stuff offline real quick, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
So everybody,
All right.
thank you for tuning in. I want to thank the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame for always um, sponsoring the Hits and Heels. Letitia, Alvin, everybody that always comes on and watches the replay. I appreciate you. Thank you. Make sure you guys share. And we love you. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.